Good morning, my dear sisters, mothers and daughters. Before I begin, let me ask you something. Have you ever stood in front of the mirror and thought, am I truly living my best life? You see, every woman carries immense strength, love and grace within her. But in the noise of daily life, many forget the small habits that nurture that strength. Today, let's rediscover 10 simple yet powerful habits. Every woman must practice daily habits that will not only make you happier, but will help you lead with purpose, peace, and power. Gratitude is the most powerful and transformative habit any woman can practice daily. It may sound simple, but the act of being thankful has the ability to shift your entire outlook on life. Every morning when you open your eyes, you are gifted with something that no amount of money can buy. Another day, another chance, another opportunity to grow, love, and live better than yesterday. When you start your day with gratitude, you are not just acknowledging what you have, you are inviting positivity, peace, and purpose into your heart. Gratitude turns an ordinary morning into a blessing and transforms ordinary moments into extraordinary ones. Most people wake up and immediately reach for their phones, checking messages, social media, or emails. The mind is instantly flooded with comparisons, stress, and distractions. But imagine if, instead, you took just 2 minutes to thank the universe for the gift of life. Thank the bed that gave you rest, the roof that sheltered you, the breath that fills your lungs. In those few quiet moments of appreciation, your mind begins to align with abundance rather than scarcity. You shift from I have to I get to. You don't have to go to work, you get to. You don't have to take care of your family, you get to. This subtle change in perspective makes an enormous difference in how you experience your day. When a woman practices gratitude, she becomes a magnet for positivity. Her energy changes, her tone softens, and her presence brightens. Gratitude is not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about recognizing beauty even in imperfection. You might not have everything you want, but you always have something to be thankful for. Maybe it's the smile of your child, the warmth of sunlight on your skin, or simply the strength to face another day. These small acknowledgements open the door for bigger blessings. Life gives more to those who appreciate what they already have. Gratitude also strengthens emotional resilience. When faced with challenges, instead of sinking into frustration, a grateful person learns to focus on what remains rather than what's lost. A woman rooted in gratitude doesn't let one setback define her day. She reminds herself, yes, this is tough, but I still have hope, faith, and the ability to move forward. Gratitude doesn't erase problems. It gives you the courage and clarity to handle them with grace. It keeps your mind centered and your heart calm amidst life's chaos. Scientific research has proven that gratitude improves mental health, enhances sleep, and increases overall happiness. But beyond science, there's a spiritual strength in thankfulness. When you say thank you for the little things, you are telling the universe that you are ready for more. It's as if life responds by saying, if she values this, she can handle more blessings. Gratitude creates a cycle of positivity. The more you appreciate, the more you receive to appreciate. To cultivate this habit, you can begin with a simple morning ritual. Before checking your phone or starting your routine, close your eyes and think of 3 things you are grateful for. Write them down if you can. They don't have to be grand. Even the smallest moments matter. Throughout your day, practice gratitude in real time. When someone smiles at you, say a silent thank you. When you finish a meal, feel grateful for the food that nourished you. When you overcome a challenge, thank yourself for your strength. These small conscious acts create a mindset of abundance that lasts all day long. Gratitude also influences how you treat others. When you are thankful for the people around you, you speak to them with more kindness and respect. You begin to see their efforts rather than their flaws. You start to appreciate the beauty in every human connection. This simple attitude can transform relationships, both personal and professional. A grateful woman radiates warmth. People feel at ease in her presence because she carries the light of appreciation wherever she goes. Practicing gratitude daily is not just about feeling good, it's about living intentionally. It helps you slow down in a world that's constantly rushing. It reminds you that happiness doesn't come from having more, but from noticing more. When you live with gratitude, every day becomes an opportunity to celebrate life. Not because it's perfect, but because it's yours. And that realization alone is powerful enough to change everything. Self-care is one of the most essential, yet often neglected practices in a woman's daily life. In a world that constantly demands her attention, energy, and compassion, it becomes easy for her to give to everyone but herself. Yet the truth remains, no one can pour from an empty cup. When a woman learns to care for herself, not out of vanity but out of self-respect, she begins to rediscover her strength, confidence, and inner peace. Self-care is not a luxury. It is a necessity for maintaining balance in mind, body, and spirit. It is the foundation upon which productivity, happiness, and emotional stability are built. Every day, a woman fulfills countless roles: daughter, sister, mother, partner, professional, caregiver, leader. Each role demands a part of her energy, and without conscious renewal, that energy begins to fade. Many women mistake self-care for selfishness, believing that prioritizing themselves takes away from their duties. But in reality, caring for oneself enables her to serve others better. A well-rested, emotionally balanced, and mentally strong woman contributes more meaningfully than one running on exhaustion. Self-care is therefore not an act of indulgence, it is an act of empowerment. True self-care goes beyond skincare routines or spa days. It's about nurturing your overall well-being. It begins with listening to your body and respecting its signals. When you are tired, allow yourself to rest. When you are overwhelmed, step back and breathe. When your body craves movement, exercise not to look a certain way, but to feel alive. Movement, mindfulness, and nourishment are three pillars of physical self-care. Eating with awareness, drinking enough water, and getting sufficient sleep may sound simple, but they are powerful acts of love toward yourself. Mental and emotional self-care are equally vital. A woman's mind is often burdened with unspoken worries, family responsibilities, career pressures, and personal insecurities. Taking time each day to clear that mental clutter is essential. Meditation, journaling, or even a quiet cup of tea can help slow the mind and restore inner calm. Mental self-care also means setting healthy boundaries, learning to say no without guilt and yes only when it feels right. Protecting your energy from negativity and overcommitment is not harsh, it is wisdom. The more you respect your own limits, the more peace you invite into your life. Self-care also includes nurturing your emotional world. It's about acknowledging your feelings instead of burying them. It's perfectly acceptable to have moments of sadness, anger, or vulnerability. Emotions are not weaknesses, they are signals from your soul. Talking to someone you trust, seeking therapy, or even allowing yourself to cry are acts of emotional courage. A woman who honors her emotions instead of suppressing them builds resilience. She learns to move through pain with grace and emerges stronger, softer, and wiser. Spiritual self-care, though deeply personal, is another powerful form of renewal. Whether it's prayer, meditation, reflection, or connecting with nature, finding moments to reconnect with your higher self provides clarity and grounding. In a noisy world, this silence becomes sacred. It reminds you that you are not just a role or a responsibility. You are a being of immense purpose and light. When your spirit is nourished, your actions naturally align with peace and positivity. Small, consistent self-care habits can create remarkable transformations. Begin your day by affirming your worth. Take short breaks to stretch, breathe, or smile. Spend time doing what brings you joy. Reading, painting, listening to music, or simply sitting in stillness. These moments are not distractions. They are investments in your well-being. End your day by reflecting on what went well, forgiving yourself for what didn't, and resting with gratitude. Over time, these habits reshape your mindset, boost your confidence, and fill your heart with self-compassion. A woman who practices self-care radiates strength. Her energy becomes calmer, her decisions clearer, and her presence more uplifting. She no longer seeks validation from others because she learns to validate herself. She no longer measures her worth by how much she gives, but by how fully she lives. Self-care teaches her to love herself without conditions, to embrace her flaws, honor her journey, and celebrate her uniqueness. When a woman stands in that space of self-respect, she inspires everyone around her to do the same. Ultimately, self-care is a declaration, a statement that says, I matter. It is the reminder that you cannot heal the world if you are hurting, and you cannot uplift others if you are drained. Taking care of yourself is not abandoning your responsibilities. It is ensuring that you have the strength and serenity to fulfill them beautifully. Each time you choose yourself, you are not withdrawing from life. You are preparing yourself to live it fully, joyfully, and with unwavering purpose. Mastering the mind is one of the most powerful and transformative habits any woman can cultivate. Life is filled with challenges, disappointments, and unexpected turns, but what truly defines a woman's strength is not what happens to her, it's how she responds. The mind can either be your greatest ally or your worst enemy. When it is calm, focused, and disciplined, no storm can shake your peace. But when it is restless and reactive, even the smallest problem feels overwhelming. Learning to master your mind means taking charge of your inner world so that the outer world cannot control you. Every day presents moments that test your patience, confidence, and emotional stability. Someone's harsh words, an unexpected delay, or a personal setback can easily trigger frustration. Yet in those very moments lies an opportunity to rise above impulsive reactions. A strong woman doesn't allow her emotions to dictate her response. She observes them with awareness and chooses her actions wisely. This emotional intelligence is not about suppressing feelings. It's about directing them with intention. The one who learns to pause before reacting gains power over her circumstances. A woman who masters her mind develops an inner stillness that remains unshaken by external chaos. She knows that peace is not found in a quiet environment, but in a quiet mind. That calmness becomes her shield, protecting her from negativity and helping her stay centered no matter what unfolds around her. Such steadiness does not come overnight. It comes through consistent awareness and mindfulness. By spending even a few minutes each day in silence, breathing deeply, meditating, or reflecting, you train your mind to slow down and find balance amidst noise. Mastering the mind also means recognizing the power of thoughts. Every thought you entertain shapes your reality. If your thoughts are filled with self-doubt, fear, and comparison, your actions will reflect that. But if your inner dialogue is kind, hopeful, and confident, you begin to attract opportunities and peace. A woman who consciously filters her thoughts begins to see herself and the world differently. She stops saying, I can't handle this, and starts affirming, I have handled many things before, I can handle this too. Positive thinking is not blind optimism. It is disciplined awareness, a choice to focus on possibilities instead of problems. One of the greatest challenges in mastering the mind is detaching from negativity. The mind often clings to painful memories, replaying moments of hurt or regret. But healing comes when you learn to release them. You cannot change the past, but but you can choose not to let it control your present. Forgiveness, both for yourself and others, is one of the highest forms of mental mastery. It frees you from emotional weight and allows you to move forward with peace. Every time you let go, you reclaim your power from the pain that once held you back. Discipline plays a crucial role in keeping the mind steady. Just like the body needs exercise to stay strong, the mind needs training to stay focused. Limiting distractions, controlling your digital consumption, and setting daily priorities help you strengthen mental clarity. A distracted mind is a weak mind, but a focused one can achieve anything. When a woman trains her mind to stay in the present moment, she becomes more productive, more creative, and more peaceful. She learns that she doesn't have to control everything. She just has to control how she responds. Another key to mastering the mind is gratitude. When you focus on what you have instead of what you lack, your mind naturally becomes calmer and more content. Gratitude redirects your thoughts from scarcity to abundance, helping you appreciate life's blessings even in difficult times. A grateful mind cannot coexist with anxiety or anger. It transforms every challenge into an opportunity for growth. Spiritual connection also strengthens mental mastery. Whether through prayer, meditation, or reflection, connecting to a higher purpose helps you rise above momentary chaos. When you remember that you are guided by something greater, your worries lose their power. The mind feels lighter, more trusting, and more aligned with peace. A woman who masters her mind becomes unshakable. She doesn't allow opinions, comparisons, or failures to define her. She knows her worth, guards her peace, and leads her life with grace. When the world becomes noisy, she retreats within, where stillness resides. Her strength doesn't come from controlling others, but from controlling herself. In mastering her mind, she discovers that peace is not something to be found outside. It is something she can create within every single day. Discipline is the invisible thread that ties dreams to reality. It is the quiet force that turns intention into action, and action into achievement. Every woman who has ever succeeded in life, whether in her personal growth, career, or relationships, has done so because she chose consistency over convenience. Discipline is not about being perfect. It is about showing up even when you don't feel like it. It is about keeping promises to yourself, honoring your commitments, and doing what must be done, not just what feels good in the moment. In a world that glorifies instant gratification, discipline has become a rare virtue. Many people want success, happiness, and peace, but few are willing to put in the daily effort required to earn them. A disciplined woman, however, understands that small actions, repeated consistently, create massive results over time. She knows that skipping one step may seem harmless, but every skipped step delays her growth. Whether it is maintaining her health, managing her finances, or pursuing her goals, she commits herself fully to the process. Her progress may be slow, but it is steady, and that steadiness becomes her greatest strength. Discipline begins with clarity. When a woman knows what she truly wants, she can align her actions with her purpose. Without a clear direction, discipline feels like a burden. With purpose, it becomes a form of devotion. Every morning, she wakes up with intention, not by accident. She plans her day, prioritizes her tasks, and focuses her energy on what truly matters. She understands that time is her most valuable resource and refuses to waste it on distractions or negativity. Instead of seeking shortcuts, she embraces the journey, knowing that the process itself builds her character. True discipline also requires emotional strength. There'll be days when motivation fades, when results don't come quickly, and when life feels heavy. But a disciplined woman doesn't give up. She adapts. She reminds herself why she started and pushes forward with resilience. She does not wait for the perfect mood or the perfect moment. She creates them through her actions. Her consistency becomes her identity, and over time, that identity fuels her confidence. She realizes that discipline is not punishment, It is a form of self-respect. It says, I am worthy of the effort it takes to become my best self. Discipline is not just about hard work. It is also about balance. It teaches you when to push and when to rest, when to speak and when to listen, when to act and when to reflect. It brings structure to chaos and peace to confusion. A disciplined woman values her routines because they give her stability in an unpredictable world. She knows that the same habits that once felt restrictive eventually grant her freedom, the freedom to live with control, focus, and clarity. Every act of discipline strengthens the mind. Waking up early, finishing a task on time, choosing a healthy meal over junk food, or staying calm in a heated moment, all these actions train the brain to prioritize long-term gain over short-term comfort. Discipline, therefore, is not just an external habit. It is an internal mindset. It teaches patience, responsibility, and delayed gratification. The woman who practices it daily begins to trust herself deeply because she knows she can rely on her own consistency. However, discipline is not about perfection or rigidity. It is about progress. It allows room for mistakes, for pauses, for recalibration. The key is to get back up after every setback. A disciplined woman understands that failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of it. Each time she falters, she learns, adjusts, and moves forward stronger than before. That persistence becomes her power. Ultimately, discipline transforms every area of life. It sharpens focus, builds integrity, and strengthens willpower. It helps a woman manage her time, emotions, and energy wisely. She no longer drifts aimlessly through her days. She lives with purpose and precision. People around her notice her calm, her steadiness, and her quiet confidence. That is the mark of discipline. It doesn't shout, it shines. When a woman commits to discipline, she unlocks the ability to design her life instead of merely reacting to it. She realizes that the path to excellence is not a sprint, but a series of consistent steps taken one day at a time. And as she continues on that path, she discovers something profound. Discipline doesn't limit her freedom. It creates it. It allows her to live intentionally, achieve gracefully, and rise with quiet strength, no matter what life demands. Learning something new every day is one of the most enriching habits a woman can cultivate. It is the key that unlocks personal growth, creativity, and confidence. In a rapidly changing world, knowledge is not just power, it is empowerment. When a woman commits to learning daily, she chooses progress over stagnation and curiosity over complacency. Each new skill, insight, or idea she acquires becomes another tool that strengthens her character, sharpens her mind, and expands her potential. Continuous learning is a journey, not a destination. It keeps the spirit young, the mind active, and the heart open to endless possibilities. The beauty of learning lies in its simplicity. It doesn't always require classrooms, textbooks, or formal education. Life itself is the greatest teacher. Every conversation, challenge, mistake, and experience holds a lesson waiting to be discovered. A woman who pays attention to these lessons evolves faster than those who ignore them. She doesn't view learning as a task, but as a privilege. Whether she's reading a few pages of a book, listening to a podcast, trying a new recipe, or exploring a new perspective, she's feeding her mind and nurturing her growth. This daily curiosity transforms ordinary days into extraordinary opportunities for development. Learning something new also cultivates self-confidence. Knowledge eliminates fear, and understanding replaces uncertainty with strength. When a woman takes the time to educate herself, whether in her profession, relationships, or personal interests, she stands taller and speaks with greater assurance. She no longer feels intimidated by what she doesn't know. Instead, she becomes excited to explore it. That mindset of curiosity and openness not only enhances her intellect, but also gives her an aura of grace and wisdom. She becomes a lifelong learner, constantly evolving and inspiring others to do the same. There is a certain joy that comes from mastering something new. The process may be challenging, but it brings a deep sense of fulfillment. Each time a woman pushes beyond her comfort zone to learn, she breaks through invisible barriers of self-doubt. She proves to herself that growth is not limited by age, background, or circumstance. It is a choice. Whether she learns a new language, explores digital skills, or studies a subject that fascinates her, each new achievement strengthens her belief that she is capable of more than she once imagined. That realization itself is a form of liberation. Continuous learning also nurtures creativity and adaptability. In today's world, change is constant. New technologies, new ideas, and new ways of thinking emerge every day. A woman who keeps learning stays flexible and resilient amidst change. Instead of fearing the unknown, she embraces it with curiosity. Her mind becomes a playground of ideas where innovation thrives. This adaptability allows her to handle challenges gracefully and turn obstacles into opportunities. She doesn't resist change, she grows with it. That is what makes her not just strong, but unstoppable. Learning also has a profound impact on emotional and social intelligence. When a woman educates herself about communication, psychology, empathy, or culture, she learns to connect with people on a deeper level. She listens better, understands more, and judges less. Knowledge opens her heart as much as it opens her mind. She learns that wisdom is not about knowing everything. It's about staying humble enough to keep learning from everyone. Each person she meets becomes a mirror reflecting a lesson she might need. The habit of learning every day also brings purpose to life. It turns ordinary routines into meaningful experiences. A woman who learns daily is never bored because her mind is always engaged in exploration. She finds excitement in discovery and satisfaction in growth. Even in silence, her thoughts are alive with new ideas. Her presence becomes magnetic because people sense her curiosity, her hunger for understanding, and her ever-expanding perspective. She becomes not just knowledgeable, but wise. Someone whose insights inspire others to look within themselves. To practice daily learning, all it takes is intention. Reading for 10 minutes, watching an educational video, observing nature, reflecting on a conversation, or even journaling your thoughts. Each of these can teach something new. The more consistently you practice this, the more your world expands. Over time, what you learn accumulates and begins to shape your identity. You start to see patterns, connect ideas, and make wiser decisions. The woman who learns daily is never stagnant. She is in a constant state of becoming. In embracing lifelong learning, a woman not only enhances her intellect, but also nourishes her soul. She becomes open-minded, adaptable, and deeply aware of herself and the world around her. Learning every day keeps her inspired, confident, and humble, a beautiful blend of strength and softness. Through this practice, she discovers that growth is the true essence of life, and that each new thing she learns adds another layer to the masterpiece of who she is becoming. Living with purpose rather than pressure is one of the most profound choices a woman can make in her life. In a world driven by expectations, competition, and constant comparison, it is easy to lose sight of what truly matters. Too many people wake up each morning feeling weighed down by obligations instead of inspired by intention. A woman who lives with purpose, however, walks a different path. She moves through life not as a reaction to others' demands, but as a reflection of her own inner clarity. She understands that true fulfillment doesn't come from meeting society as standards, but from aligning her actions with her values and passions. Purpose gives meaning to effort. It turns ordinary work into meaningful contribution and transforms daily routines into acts of intention. When a woman knows why she's doing what she's doing, even the smallest tasks feel significant. She doesn't chase perfection or comparison. She focuses on authenticity. Her life stops being a checklist of achievements and becomes a journey of impact and growth. Every morning, she wakes up not with anxiety about what must be done, but with gratitude for what she gets to do. This sense of direction anchors her amidst chaos and gives her peace even in uncertainty. Living under pressure, on the other hand, drains the spirit. Pressure is external. It comes from deadlines, expectations, and judgments. It whispers that you're not doing enough or being enough. But purpose is internal. It flows from your heart. It reminds you that your worth is not measured by productivity, wealth, or approval, but by how genuinely you live and love. A woman who lives with purpose no longer measures her success by the applause of others, but by the quiet satisfaction she feels when she knows she has stayed true to herself. That is where real confidence is born. To live with purpose means to live consciously. It requires awareness of your values, passions, and strengths. It invites reflection, asking yourself, what matters most to me? What difference do I want to make? What brings me peace? These questions are not always easy to answer, but exploring them leads to inner alignment. When a woman understands her purpose, decisions become simpler. She learns to say no to what distracts her and yes to what fulfills her. This clarity protects her energy from being wasted on things that don't add meaning to her life. Purpose also gives strength during difficult times. When life becomes uncertain, when challenges arise, and when everything seems to fall apart, purpose becomes the light that keeps her moving forward. It gives her resilience because she knows that her struggles are not meaningless. They are shaping her for something greater. She learns to see obstacles as part of her journey rather than interruptions to it. A purposeful woman understands that even pain can be a teacher and that every experience contributes to her growth. Her focus shifts from asking, why is this happening to me, to what is this teaching me? That mindset transforms hardship into wisdom. A woman living with purpose inspires others effortlessly. She doesn't need to preach or prove herself. Her presence becomes her message. People are drawn to her calmness, her direction, and her sense of fulfillment. She uplifts those around her simply by being authentic. Purpose makes her compassionate because she knows everyone is walking their own path of discovery. It makes her humble because she understands that her journey is still unfolding. And it makes her courageous because she no longer fears failure. She knows that even mistakes have meaning when you're guided by purpose. To cultivate purpose, one must learn to slow down and reconnect with the self. Silence, reflection, and gratitude are powerful tools. Spending a few minutes each day asking, what do I want to give to this world today? Shifts your mindset from pressure to purpose. Instead of living to impress, you begin to live to express. You stop chasing validation and start sharing your light. Purpose brings peace because it aligns who you are with what you do. It creates harmony between your mind, heart, and actions. The beauty of living with purpose is that it doesn't require grand gestures. It can be as simple as bringing kindness into your interactions, excellence into your work, or love into your home. Purpose isn't something distant to be discovered one day. It's something you can practice in every choice, every word, and every action. When a woman starts living from that space, her life transforms. She no longer runs after success. She attracts it naturally because purpose has a quiet power. It makes life meaningful, work joyful, and the heart peaceful. And when a woman lives that way, she doesn't just exist, she truly lives, inspiring others to do the same. So, my dear sisters, these are not just habits. They are the threads that weave a beautiful life. Remember, A powerful woman is not the one who never falls, but the one who rises every single time with grace. Begin today. Practice these 10 habits daily, and you'll notice your life won't just change, it will transform. As I always say, don't just chase success, chase meaning. And when meaning enters your life, happiness will follow naturally. Thank you so much. Stay strong, stay kind, and most importantly, stay you.